There's going to be a bill, and we want to make sure that whatever this new law is not going to keep us from being able to have our carnivals at our events and at our fairs. We don't want to shut down or make it so troublesome, so much red tape for a carnival to be able to come in and be part of our event. And we're just not going to be able to do that anymore, or it's going to get more expensive. So that's what we're going to talk about next. And for those of you, I think I know everyone in the room pretty much, but I'm Johnnie Miller, CEO of Utah County's Deputy Pool, and with me today to help out is Jesse Sweeten. Jesse is the new director of the Amusement Ride Safety Division of the Utah Department of Transportation. And we'll talk about that in a minute as to why this is under the Utah Department of Transportation. But first of all, I just want to kind of set the stage as to why it is that we've got the Amusement Ride Safety Act in Utah now. You all heard about the Ohio State Fair. That was the Ohio State Fair event, where
fair's about the best things in life, and then tonight with this accident, it becomes a terrible, terrible tragedy.
there was one person killed in that event. That person who was killed just happened to be the son of one of the state legislators there in Ohio. So it hit the national news. It was a huge issue all around the country as far as looking into what are we doing to make sure that these carnival rides are safe for people who want to ride them. Right after the event, I was working with a legislator on some other issues. I was on a task force that the senator was working on, and she asked me about carnivals in the state of Utah. And I explained to her my entrance into the issue was just a year or so before this happened, this Ohio event happened. I got a call from the risk manager at the city of Midvale, Midvale, and they had just had an event, and they had a carnival at their event, and some kids were stuck on the ride for a couple of hours because it malfunctioned. And of course, that just, the moms in the community were crazed. And so there was a lot of questions, and he said, I just wanted to let you know, because I know that they're packing up their carnival and they're headed to one of your county fairs for the weekend. So I just thought I'd let you know. So I called the county that they were on their way to, and I said, okay, so you have in your contract with them that they will have all the proper inspections and permitting through the state for their rides. So, well, I don't know that we do. Let me double check. And they came back with, well, the carnival operator says there are no inspections or permits required in the state of Utah. And that was when I learned that we were at that point, we were one of 5 states in the U.S. that had no requirements for inspection or permitting of carnival rides. The worst thing about that was that 2 of our neighbors are 2 of those other 5 states. So there were potentially carnival ride operators who were operating only in states where they never had to inspect their carnival rides or have any permit. So at that point, any inspection or safety would be up to them to try and limit their liability, or their insurance carriers to try and keep them as safe as possible. The state wasn't involved at all. So when I explained that to this legislator then, she started on the way to put something in place, get a bill passed, but she just ran out of priority bills, didn't get it done that year. The next year, we decided, because of all of this, and there was a lot of backflow about that Ohio's requirements weren't enough, and they should have expected even more than they did. So all over the country they were looking at this, and so we did take the carnival to the circus. Was our next step. And last year, Representative Val Potter from Cache County, used to be a Cache County councilman, brought a bill to create the Utah Amusement Ride Safety Act. Now, I didn't know this until I started asking Val, because he called me to ask me. There were some provisions in his draft bill regarding the carnival ride operators have to have insurance. So he called me to find out what should I put in there as far as insurance, Johnny. And I didn't know until then that Val used to sell carnival ride equipment. That was what he did for years and years, was sell carnival ride equipment. So he's in the industry. He knew what he was doing, which made me a lot more comfortable that he's going to understand both sides of this issue. And talking with people from the Utah Association of Fair Events, I assured them that we've got a good person here that understands both sides of the issue. He's a county person, realizes how important these events are, and he's from the ride industry, so he understands what would be reasonable and at what point are we getting unreasonable requirements for rides. So, some of the concerns that came up during the legislative process, first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that we're going to provide for the safety of operation of amusement rides in the state of Utah. That was obviously Representative Potter's first concern. But we also wanted to be cognizant of imposing costly or onerous requirements on those operators, and that could curtail your ability to have that attraction at your events. Because, I go to a couple of different county fairs. I go to Box Elder every year, and there's no question that the carnival there attracts a lot of people who would not show up to the fair were it not for the carnival piece of it. And a lot of the city celebrations too. The carnival has been the reason that most of the people are there. It's a great way to send the kids off and get a little time to spend with your neighbors, with the kids on the rides. So that was the balance that was being worked through as the bill was being drafted, and as it was making its way through the legislature, was making sure that we were putting things in place to keep the ride safe. But certainly ride operators were saying, well, but we need to make sure that this isn't too onerous on us and that you don't drive up our costs, because then we're just not coming to Utah. So here's the basics of what that balance ended up with. So the Amusement Ride Safety Act creates a committee and a director position within the Utah Department of Transportation. Now, it sounds odd at the Utah Department of Transportation. I worked for years in Minnesota, and their carnival ride operation, permitting and things went through Department of Ag. Why? Because most of the carnivals were at county fairs. County fairs were already a big part of the Ag Department. So that's where it landed. But here in Utah, UDOT has another committee very similar to what the Amusement Ride Safety Committee is, and that is the Ropeway Committee. And I think Ropeway, but really what the Ropeway Committee does is they oversee the safety and operation of the ski lifts, ski towboats, and things of that sort. Somewhat similar. And when it comes right down to it, and Utah got that committee because that's transportation. They're transporting people up the hill in a mechanical device. And so it made sense that when they've already got a similar operation in the Utah Department of Transportation, that would be a good place to set this. So, and gladly the UDOT was very open to being able to, or taking that on as a responsibility in their department. The bill creates an inspector certification process that we will certify inspectors that will inspect the rides. It requires annual inspection of all rides by a certified inspector to gain an operational permit. So each ride will have a permit that says it's been inspected and it can operate for the next year. And then it also requires daily inspection by the owner-operator. So they're going to have to keep records that each day they've inspected that machine with their own people and that they believe it's safe for operation, and it requires them to keep those records for a certain period of time. So if you're concerned about a ride operator that's coming to your fair, you can ask them for their inspection records for the last month, because they've got them. They have to have them. And make sure that they've been doing their inspections even before they start operating at your event. Make sense? The other thing, that a big part of the Amusement Ride Safety Act is the definition of an amusement ride. And of course, the mobile rides that we're all familiar with that back up and go from town to town every weekend are on the list, as well as the permanent rides. So think Boondocks, think Lagoon, think any of those big amusement parks that have rides that are set up all year round. Those are all amusement rides as well, but it starts getting down pretty, under the definition, the way it's written. Right now, it would also include things like mechanical bowls, things like that. We just this last spring we had at the UAC conference, and some of you might remember if you were there, they had virtual reality chairs that you sat in and moved around, and you put on your goggles, and you were taking a helicopter ride over the national parks. That's an amusement ride under the definition of the act. And we're working on those things on a kind of a cleanup bill with Representative Potter for this year to make sure that that's the level that we want it to go to. But right now, a mechanical device that's used to transport or move people around. One of the things that is in our cleanup bill that we'll talk about is we want to make sure that, but we don't mean the motion chairs at their age number theaters, that we're not going to make those be inspected. There's a reporting mechanism under the statute now as well. So there's two different types of injuries. There's a reportable serious injury, which is stab, dismemberment, things of those things, those sorts of, that are clearly very serious injuries. And those serious injuries have to be reported to the director within 8 hours from the time that the accident occurs. And there's a serious injury, which is the next level down. So, and this was a real concern for some of you that we talked about as the bill was being written was, if there's a serious injury, and we're talking about that when a serious injury occurs, that the ride can't be operated until it's re-inspected. We can't have the rides down. That's a big attraction. And so we've got a serious injury, which we made sure is not a bump or a scrape or a rash or things like that. If they need to go to the hospital for overnight attention by a doctor, that's a serious injury. And those two definitions are important because that's where we get to operation after injury. If there's a reportable serious injury or a serious injury, then the ride cannot operate until they get authorization from the director or his representative. So the ride operator is going to have to contact the Department of Transportation and review what happened and get authorization, and we're working now to figure out how can we make sure that that gets done quickly. But someone cuts themselves, scrapes themselves, doesn't have to go to the hospital, that ride's not going to be shut down. Continue working. So it'll be left to you guys to make sure that in your contracts with those carnival operators that you're dealing with those sorts of things. Do you want that ride to continue to operate or not? Again, in the bill, the way it was written, of course, this doesn't go into effect until next year, but the way it was written, it says that when the ride is shut down because of an injury, that they need the director's authorization if it was reportable, a really serious injury. But if it was just a serious injury, that they need your okay, the landlord, operator, event coordinator, to authorize that they start operating again. Which may sound good in that you get to make that decision and get the ride up and running again, but one attorney in the room, do you want the fair director to have the liability that they said it was okay to operate that ride again? No. I don't think you guys want that onus on you to say, okay, yeah, it's okay, go ahead and start operating the ride again. I trust you that you got it fixed. So that is one of the things that we suggested in the cleanup bill this year is let's leave that decision to the department who knows what should be done after an accident to make sure that that ride is safe to start operating. And let's not create a liability for the fair director to have to make that decision. Okay. So as far as the impact on owners, Jesse's got them. So the owner-operators are going to have to get that annual inspection by a certified inspector. So there'll be a program, and yes, go ahead.
Is that on the top or
Well, that's one of the things, is the law that was passed last year says that they have to have it inspected by a certified inspector that's certified in Utah. Now, an inspector that's certified in other states can certainly come and get their certification in Utah, but they can't use their California certification to inspect the ride. The other thing that it says now is that inspection has to happen when the ride is set up in Utah for general public use. Yeah.
So does that mean if that ride went from Box Elder County down to Iron County, it would have to be re-inspected?
No, this inspection only needs to occur once a year. So when it moves from Box Elder County to Iron County, that requires a daily inspection, right?
So, one of the proposed changes that we are making, right now it does say it has to be set up in the state of Utah, but we are proposing that the Utah inspector calling guidelines that they could go to the neighboring state with an RP setup and have that certification in. It's only good for 30 days. Their application has to happen within 30 days of that inspection, but it doesn't allow the inspector to travel to a neighboring state or a Colorado inspector that's also become certified to do that inspection. So that should help with the setup time, but we still want to fit it and have that verification of inspector.
how available are these inspectors? We use the same one as Iron County. They go all up through Wyoming, and then down to Mount Coser, and then turn down to Beaver, and then Iron. So I think they're only doing two.
Are you talking about daily inspections or the setup inspection?
So, will those inspectors come to Beaver to inspect during our fair, or like, how about?
That's one of the things we want to make sure that we do between now and next April is create a pool of qualified inspectors, make sure that we have plenty of inspectors to handle this. And we're not setting the fees per se on there, it's inspectors, but we want to make sure that there aren't any sort of don't have to have this big action situation.
Do you have an idea of how much this inspection would be?
No, it really depends on it depends on the hours that it takes to set up that.
Yeah, did we do it again?
If they push us out, because we're both smaller counties and.
So,
Well, again, so see, this is the thing that I think a lot of people misunderstood. Number one, again, they only need one annual inspection by a certified inspector. Not every time that they come to a different fair.
That's
So,
for Utah.
right, they need a Utah permit. So
That's
before
right.
they operate in Utah, within 30 days before they are going to operate a ride in Utah, they've got to have that inspection done by a certified inspector. And once they've got their annual permit, that's it. They don't need another inspection for another year. But the concern was, when are all the inspections going to be necessary? In the spring, right? And so that's why we wanted to allow for, if the Carnival ride this weekend is in Evanston, and it's coming to Box Elder next weekend, and their annual permit is for Utah is expired or is going to expire, the inspector can go to Evanston and do the inspection so that they've got their permit when they get to Box Elder, and they don't have to, Box Elder doesn't have to sit and wait for the inspection to get done to have the Carnival ride start up and operate.
But is that also
No, that's the other misconception. You do not pay for the inspection. The operator pays for the inspection. They need to get the inspection to get their permit. Yes, but it's an annual permit, so that cost to them of the inspector and the $100 fee, annual permit fee, they spread out amongst everybody that they have a contract with for the year.
So when will all this be like nailed down? I'm signing contracts right now for my Carnival, and if they're gonna have this, and there's only 2 pairs in Utah, they get back out. And so when are they gonna say, well, here are your inspectors, we have some in southern Utah that can be there. I mean, without any sort of travel cost. I mean, I get the Salt Lake metropolitan area, but it's a rural county.
This doesn't take effect. They don't need to have their permits until they're operating after April 1st of next year.
Okay, so this year we're from.
This season, you're good.
So that annual permit, is that per ride?
Yes.
it is per ride? I hesitate to give you an average cost of visiting the county ride. Some of the more simple rides are maybe only a couple $100. You get a ride that takes a lot longer to set up, a longer inspection.
So that's something that the committee, and I think I forgot to say, I volunteered, I put in my name to the governor to be the representative for the general public on this safety committee, and he appointed me to the committee, and then the committee voted me in as their chair. So I chair this amusement ride safety committee. And one of the concerns that the committee has discussed is we're going to need to watch and make sure that we've got enough certified inspectors and that they are reasonable in what they're charging the operators for those inspections. And don't hold them up because, like you say, that cost is going to get passed along to the local agencies that are hiring those carnivals. So we'll be very attentive to that. And if that's what we see, that they're charging too much, that will be something that we have to go back to the legislature to, is we can't reset a maximum inspection fee or something along those lines.
We've been looking quite a bit with what other states are doing, and very few states have defined what those fees are. We're more concerned about what the requirements are, and getting certified inspectors and getting people that what they're doing for sure. We are looking at the neighboring states. Colorado has a similar program, and they hasn't kept rides.
Well, is there a possibility that we can partner with the neighboring states, say Colorado or Wyoming or Idaho, so that if it's good for Utah and Idaho, or because if it's good for one state and they're looking at the same thing, it's just going to pass the cost on to us.
So every state's requirements may not be the same. We're going to most likely adopt the national standard. It's going to be the same requirements that Colorado has. So if the Colorado inspector certifies in Colorado and in Utah, it's matters submitting an application, we verify what their credentials are. If they're certified in both, and do that annual inspection, and we'll flip it. Then that would be a shared cost.
Okay, what that business mechanism is for Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah, pay for it, not pay 3 times, one for each state, like Idaho.
Yeah, we need to work out what kind of reciprocity we got there, but it's certainly.
Secretary's talked about reciprocity, we just aren't there yet. We haven't even set the rules on what the standards will be that the inspectors expect too. That's what we're working on now. But I think that certainly if I was a guy that was selling inspections, I'd be licensed in Colorado and Wyoming and Utah and say, hey, I can do it because I'm certified in all 3 states. You know, if you're one inspection operator and it's good, you can then get your permits in all 3 states with my one inspection rather than having to get inspections in 3 different states. So hopefully we'll have inspectors like
Still at
that.
least have that certification here. We have an event here, we have a fatality here, or anything serious like that. We don't want to just wait and say, well, it was inspected in Colorado. We want to make sure that that inspector is certified in Colorado. And we'll set up a process for that. If it's an annual run, we're going to that inspection.
Okay, and again, impact on owner operators, there's also in the statute some minimum insurance requirements. I think they're only, minimum is $1 million bodily injury policy, which is, that's minimum for Carnival ride. So I don't think that we're going to see operators. If any operators are saying I had to buy more insurance than I used to have in order to meet the requirements, you probably shouldn't have used it in the past anyway. But I don't see that as being a problem. I think it also helps for some of you who have been asking for that same $1 million. Now it just sets the bar that, hey, that's the state minimum. We're not accepting, we're absolutely not accepting anything less than that. And still make your decision of how much risk does the county want to take and how much are you going to require them to have in your contract with them. As far as the impact on the events, hopefully it will be a minimal cost increase, because again, the operators will spread that annual permit fee and annual inspection fee across to everybody that they do business with throughout the year. So hopefully that won't increase your costs significantly. And then there is the potential for shutdown after a reportable serious injury. Again, someone's injured on a ride, that ride can't operate again. It doesn't shut down the entire carnival, just that particular ride. And then, again, you may want to have your own policy regarding when you're going to allow that ride to operate after a serious injury. Because that lower serious injury is going to get reported to you, not to the director. And so you'll have to decide, hey, a person was injured bad enough that they had to go straight to the hospital. They're going to be in the hospital overnight for observation. Do I want that ride operating? Why not? And that's still going to be your decision. So you should probably think about that, have some language in your contract with the Carnival ride operator as far as your ability to keep a ride from operating or
to allow the ride to start operation again.
Two wheels is that video?
Yeah. That was just this July in India. So, even with the scares that we've had, this stuff is still happening. I think it's great that we do have now some minimal requirements for inspection and making sure that those rides are safe. But I really appreciate the input that the fair directors and the Association of Fair and Events people gave to me and Representative Potter to make sure that the bill was written well. And again, the safety committee itself, as we work on what the rules will be, that will apply and have the rides inspected to, will be really important. We'll look for additional input on that as well. Again, we want to make sure that you're right, that the people that are bringing you rides to your event, that they are safe, and at the same time, we don't want them to stop bringing you rides to your event. Any other questions?
We want to make this process as painless and as smooth as possible. You guys have input on things that we should be doing or need to be doing within our committee to make this process easier for the people bringing the rides into your fairs, please. Either Johnny or myself. Yeah, my contact information's up here and grab a card. Definitely, we want to make sure that none of these types of events happen in Utah, but we also want to make sure that these are fun events as well. That ride in India was 18 years old, so it's not like it was. Well, there's rides we have in Utah that are much older. We want to make sure that they're inspected.
Yes. I'm amazed at the number of rides that I hear about that are, they're 70 or 80 years old and they're showing up to your fair every year.
So, you said we were one of how many states that didn't have a 5? So, is our neighboring states, does Idaho require it, and Wyoming require it, and Nevada require it?
Which ones?
Idaho requires it, Wyoming and Montana.
Nevada was on the list, but right after the Ohio incident, they changed.
Henderson County has
All right. Well, again, we've, Jesse and I are open to information or concerns that you might have, and let us know. And I will say the committee is a really good group. There's a lot of representation. We've got a mobile ride operator representative on there. We've got a large park operator representative on that. We've got an individual who is involved in the National Association with ASTM oversight representative from Park City Resorts that has sort of those slides and things like that there in Park City. That's also on the ride. So they certainly are concerned with making sure that there's going to be enough inspectors and that the costs are going to be reasonable. And also, at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the rides are safe. All right. It looks like